Hey guys, okay, this is totally an unplanned video. This is not a vlogmas. This is not me talking about my challenge, but this is like an emergency video because not anything crazy or bad has happened. This is such an emergency that I've put a sweatshirt on to cover up my pajamas. But I was watching Miss D Lisher on Lisher TV, and I did not know she was going to have a dear friend of hers give me a message. I'm still kind of like, who's cutting onions in here? Is somebody cutting onions? Because her friend, who is also in academia, and forgive me because I did not write his name down, but I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for giving me that message, not just because I'm doing this doctorate. I do work at a community college, and I do not publicly say where I work at for a number of reasons. But I will say academia is hard, even if you're working in a community college, especially if you are a woman of color, especially if you are working teaching courses like early childhood. I can't even begin to tell you guys some of my experiences. Some of my worst career experiences have honestly been in academia. It's never been when I was in social work, public education, any of those spaces. I often thought when people would say, oh, in corporate world, it's like this. And, you hear these crazy stories, but I'd never encountered that stuff until I crossed over. And I want to make this clear for anyone that's like, oh, I want to figure out where she works at. It's not the place that I work at. It's literally the people that are in academia. They can be really toxic. That's just the truth. Doing this challenge was hard because academia is a space where there can be a lot of elitist type of behavior. There's a lot of layers. People question where you get your degree from, whether you go to a brick and mortar, whether you're working in a research one, whether you're in a competitive program. There's so many layers. So I'm going to just say this. The routes that I took for my education have gotten me to where I'm at. I've never desired to work full time in higher education. At 19, when I had no degree and I was in community college, I'd already attempted being at a state university. And I found at that time in my life that that wasn't for me, because going to school for 3 hours and then just having the day to kind of blow away, it just wasn't for me. I was a better student working during the day and going to school at night. I didn't even know what it was going to take to get a master's degree at 19 years old. But I knew that those faculty that taught me every night and everything that I know about early childhood, I'm like, I want to do what they're doing. I want to work in my field, and I want to teach students at night because I want to pay it forward to my field. And if it wasn't for them, like I said, I was 19 years old. I just knew I was going to be an adjunct one day. I never desired to be in academia. I never had anyone say, oh, this is what it looks like. This is how you get there, because it was never a dream or a goal. So when I got into that work, literally 6 years ago, because it's my 6th year, I went through some really dramatic things in the first 6 months of my position. But one of the things people would ask me, I hadn't even been on the job, not even a month. And even within that month, the same person that recruited me there, which I remember Dee saying in one of her videos, the enemy will bring you to where you need to be. And so it's crazy that she said that, because I always remind myself of that, like getting to that college. This college is 2 hours from where I live. So it was a huge change and a huge commitment to say, I'm going to commute 2 hours at minimum to go to work. And I'm going to do this 5 days a week. And at the time, I was parent guardian. And thank God, I've always had this. I don't know why I was blessed with such an amazing husband, but I really am. I really, really am. And I said, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "You're the one that said you wanted to be an adjunct. Why not do it full time?" I'm like, "I don't know. I literally, I was like, I don't know. I just," he's like, "You can do it full time. I'm good. I'll take care of her. You go do you. No worries. If we get a call from the school, I got this." So there I was, driving 2 hours to work. Within the first month, the same person that recruited me there said, "Well, if you don't like it, you can always leave." Also, in the first month, my family was super proud because they're like, "Oh my gosh, our kid's a professor." Guys, I was like 34, 35. I couldn't even believe that I had made it there myself, but I made it there. Okay. The next thing that happened, "So what are you going to do next? When are you getting your doctorate?" I'm like, dang, I just got here. Like, it's 2019. I just graduated with my second master's in 2018. Like, it hadn't even been a year. So that seed was planted. Okay. So as that seed was planted, this was the same year. You know what happened in spring of 2020. I was going through so much in that job, so much at the hand of like direct leadership. I'll just say that. The only reason why I was able to stay was literally the people that were praying for me and just looking out for me. And I hate to say it, the fact that I had to be home, because then I was able to find peace and get my grounding. But even leading up to that, I remember seeing all these other faculty teaching overload. They could teach extra. Because the funny thing about academia, or at least in my experience, you have a lot of time. You have a lot of time to do things. I didn't understand at the time. I do know now that part of that time is you're paying it forward in the profession. You're writing, you're doing all kinds of stuff. But I was really upset that there were people that were allowed to teach so many credits over. And I kept saying, like, I feel like I can do this job in 20 hours, like less than 20 hours a week. Even when I throw in the commute, like, I'm still not doing 40 hours worth of work. And I knew it. But this is also coming from someone who is a true practitioner in her field. That's just what it is. And I remember saying, well, I can teach psychology courses. The funny thing about it was nobody knew, because I didn't put it on my resume or my CV. They didn't even ask for a CV, they asked for a resume, that I had already had 30 doctoral credits of psychology courses. The fact that I had to give my dean my unofficial transcript for that person to give me the green light, even though I watched this individual give people, "Oh yeah, you can teach 2 extra classes, you can teach 3 extra classes." For those of you that don't know what overload is, at least at my institution, the way it works is every credit over, for every 1 credit over, you get paid an extra 1,000. So these people were getting their salary on top of the fact that they're teaching 2 more classes. That's $6,000 more a semester. I already told you I was driving 4 hours round trip at least 5 days a week. So that extra money was like, that would be great because that would help with car maintenance, gas, stuff like that. But the fact that I had to practically beg to even have that opportunity was mind-boggling. So I get to teach Intro to Psychology as an asynchronous class. If you don't know what asynchronous is, that means it's a class that doesn't have a dedicated time. What they don't know is that I've been an online student for, at that point, since 2012. 2012? Yeah. But that wasn't my first time taking an online class. Honestly, I can go back to 2007. So I built this entire course online. Even the person that had that department had never built an entire course online. But I did. Little did we know what was about to happen between January and March. And so our whole college shut down during spring break for 2 weeks. We had 2 weeks to transition all of our courses to be completely online. And they were like, Deanna, how did you set everything up? And that's been the experience. Because looking at me, I don't know, teaching early childhood, I'm not supposed to know this stuff, but I just know that God has just protected me the entire time. So then you fast forward, fall of 2020, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to start a whole new doctorate. I'm going to have to go back and finish this thing. That's what I have to do. Like, it's not, and I know people are like, well, why would you go there? Why would you go to this online institution? Well, because I'm not going to just throw away 30 credits. You don't pay my bills. I got to do what I got to do. So I went back in fall of 2020, and the rest has been history. So that message really means a lot from so many different levels, because even when I've met other people that look like me, it doesn't, for you to not even know me and to care the way that you care, it really means a lot, because that's not been my experience. It's been very dismissive. It's been very elitist when it comes to my peers. However, when we're talking about student services and like other parts of the college, I'm fine. I don't encounter any of that stuff. I'm good as gold. But that has been the hardest part. And I take that back. There are other people, well, one person in particular, her and I started within a day of each other. She's no longer at this institution with me, but we were the only two. I'll just put it like that. And we were young. She's even younger than me. She's now like 36. So she was 30 going through all of this. And it was traumatizing. So for you to be in Florida, not know me except through Miss D, who I've never met in my life. Never. I'm just like, it's just crazy that her and I decided to get back into this YouTube space at the same time. I'm her first subscriber, and she's the first person that's like really writing in my comment section. And I'm like, whoa, I need to pay attention, actually write this person back. And it's been really powerful because I didn't know doing this challenge would lead to this. I had no idea. So I just want to say thank you, Miss D. And I'm so sorry I did not write your friend's name down, but if he sees this video, thank you so much. I will be in touch, because again, just your message alone, something says you're a safe person to be like, hey, this is what's going on. And what do you recommend? Because I've really wanted a mentor in this space, because a lot of people have said, why don't you just leave? Something tells me I can't just leave. I know that my work situation can be really toxic, trust me. But then I hear other people, they're like, it's like this at other institutions. So anyways, thank you. And don't worry, I am going to finish this strong. I know I have one chapter left, and I know I'm going to finish chapter 3 sooner rather than later. And I know that this academia journey, I know it's not over. I just don't know where it's going to go. And I just cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much, Dee. I can't wait till we actually meet in person, because I feel like we're going to be like giving each other big hugs, like, oh my gosh, I survived my script. And I'm going to be like, I survived my paper. And you're going to blow up and you're going to write so many more movies. And I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I know this time next year, I'm going to be at a movie premiere and I'm going to be Dr. So-and-so. But I don't know what that looks like. And that's the crazy part, is that I know I'm working through what God wants me to be doing. I know that there's a bigger purpose. I just have to keep showing up, having faith, having hope, and keep moving forward. So thank you. And we will chat soon. And you guys, back to our Vlogmas. But thank you so much.